Thanks, everybody. Welcome to the event. So all of us at some time in our lives will have times when we give support to others and times when we receive support. So today we're going to be looking at opportunities to give support across the local area. Whether it's a flexible role you're looking for or something more regular, there's lots that you can get involved in. We're going to be using Zoom webinar today, and I'll just go through some of the housekeeping about how this Zoom webinar will work. So with the Zoom webinar, you'll be able to see the panelists as they're speaking and see each panelist presentation. As the recording's in progress, we'll have the opportunity for question and answers at the end. So if you could save your questions for that time, that would be great. We'll be able to stop the recording and you'll be able to speak to the panelists at that point. If you do have a question while the presentations are going on, you can use the Q&A function. You can see that in a little box at the bottom of your screen. So that's for typed questions, and then we'll be able to hear those at the end. If you want to write them down in the meantime, please feel free. First of all, we're going to look a little bit about what VODA does, and then we'll introduce the panelists. So VODA has a volunteer centre where we help organisations advertise their volunteering roles, and we help the general public to find out about volunteering. We have an online platform called Get Volunteering, which looks like this. And you can use that to search for opportunities, over 150 opportunities there in the local area. You can search by postcode or also add your interests. And then you can click on to each of the roles to find a bit more information and more detail on them. So the roles we talked about today and lots of other roles can all be found on here, whether a one-off role or a flexible role. We can also make an individual appointment to talk more about your interests and find something that's a good match for you. VODA also has a number of volunteering projects, which you can see on the screen now. So we have one called Help Me Be Digital, supporting local residents to get online. There are opportunities to give support with that project through volunteering and also to receive support. We have a project called Good Neighbours, which helps local residents. And again, it's opportunities to give and to receive support. We have Discover Me, a project for 16 to 25-year-olds. It's peer support for young people about positive well-being, and there are also volunteering opportunities for young people there. We have the Living Well directory. It doesn't have volunteering opportunities on it, but it's a good place to find out about what's going on locally. We also have Sector Connector, and that's for businesses who want to make a difference in the local community. So it's a project where organisations can find out about how they can give employee volunteering time, but also their skills and other resources that they might have. And we also have the Settle at Home project, supporting people who have been discharged from hospital, where volunteers go out and help people feel okay at home again after their time in hospital. So if you want any further information on any of those, we can talk about those in the Q&A at the end. I'll stop sharing my screen now and pass over to our first volunteering organisation. The organisation is called Action Tutoring, and Brenda Turnbull is here to tell us all about the roles available. Thanks.
Very much. It's great to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I'll just see if I can get my slides to come up for you. And can you see my first slide there? I can see some nodding. Fabulous. That's great. So Action Tutoring has been around in local schools since about 2012. And this is our vision. We aim to close the attainment gap, which has been widening over recent years. Obviously, the pandemic didn't do us any favours there at all. We offer tutoring for free to children in schools locally and nationally for an hour a week in English or maths, and in primary or secondary schools. And so you can see some of our lovely pupils lovely pupils there. So just a couple of slides linked to what we do, how we do it, and how you can get involved. You can see the year groups here that we involve in our tutoring sessions. They are largely children who are eligible for pupil premium funding, or are identified by their school as being disadvantaged in other ways. Some may be applying for pupil premium status and haven't quite got it yet. Those sorts of children whose families wouldn't be able to afford small group tutoring, and our groups are, between 1 and 3 pupils. And the school identifies a group of about 20 of them. We put together a team of about 8 to 10 tutors who tutor these children in maths or English using our training and resources to support you. And the tutoring's done either online or face-to-face in schools. And we've had a number of schools in the North Tyneside area. We work with schools in Newcastle. We have a few in County Durham. And like I say, nationally, that would be tutoring online. So all sorts of skills for people who are thinking about going into the education sector or teaching, for example, or just as a way to give back. And you tutor for an hour a week. You can tutor for more than that. But the time of day varies depending on how the school can fit that into their timetable. It's during term time only, so we don't tutor during half term or other school holidays, which can often fit in very well with people who are volunteering from home, or who have children of their own. These are a couple of our schools in County Durham at the moment. We also work with Walkergate, Central Walker, or a couple of our North Tyneside schools. When you tutor with us, we have a huge amount of support for you right from the start. And for each programme that you sign up for, you would gain the help of a programme coordinator who is there to do a tutor induction with you, point you in the right direction for all the training and resources that you need. We also provide a free DBS check. We do that and pay for it, and help you to get through that process as well. So this is last slide, and it sort of shows you a little bit about more about getting involved. So you would choose the day and time to fit in with your schedule that you wanted to volunteer with us. You would choose the subject, whether it's maths or English, that you wanted to tutor. We don't do other subjects. We stick to those two because that allows access to all sorts of other subjects as well. You would choose whether you wanted to do primary or secondary, and whether you wanted to do online or face-to-face tutoring. You would sign up to a programme to deliver sessions over 10, 15 or 20 weeks, depending on the time of year. We are volunteering in schools right up to the summer holidays. So now is a great time to apply because you can get through some training, the DBS check. Marcy, I'm loving your cat. Wanting to get in on the action.
So sorry about that.
That's quite all right. So now's a great time to apply, especially if you wanted to get in from the first session in the autumn term. You could, get your application done and get a few sessions, tutoring done this academic term. And gets over some of the initial perhaps nerves of tutoring for the first time, which it doesn't matter who you are. We work with corporates, we work with students, we work with retired people, we work with young career professionals who are thinking about going into teaching, we work with unemployed people, stay-at-home parents, all manner of volunteers, and we are as open and inclusive as possible. with the DBS check, you need to be 18 or over to volunteer with us. You need a certain level of perhaps qualifications and knowledge of English or maths to be able to tutor with us. But we're really interested in your motivations and work experiences too, because some of our tutors that don't have A-levels or a degree are fabulous role models for the children in their groups that they tutor with us. So we've got a contact email here that comes through to me or one of my lovely colleagues in the Marketing and Partnerships department. A couple of lovely quotes there from tutors that I've worked with over the years, and a QR code that takes you through to our website and application page, where you can have a go at our application form. It takes about 30 minutes. And we'd love to have, questions from you, applications from you in the near future. And that is it from me.
Thanks so much, Brenda. That was so interesting to hear about it, and amazing what a difference you can make to people in just an hour a week. Thanks very much for that.
Pleasure.
And we'll take any questions at the end. Thanks. So now I'll pass on to Amanda, who's going to tell us about volunteering opportunities with Cats Protection.
Thank you so much. And first of all, thank you, Marcy, for bringing a cat into our lives this morning. It's right on cue with us at Cats Protection today. Let me share my screen. And in the meantime, just a huge thank you for allowing me to come and speak with you guys today. It is really lovely to be able to talk about not only the work that we do, but also the ways that you guys can get involved as well. So whether you are an individual, perhaps a group, a family, or perhaps a team at work, or a volunteer group who would like to get involved, please hit me up. We'd love to chat more. So I work in the amazing National Community Fundraising team at Cats Protection. I am the Community Fundraising Volunteer Team Leader for the North East and Yorkshire Hub. So to give you a little bit of background about the North East, we have a fabulous centre, fairly new. I think it opened in 2017, I believe. It's gorgeous. The staff volunteers are absolutely amazing. Our standards are tip top over in our centre in Felling in Gateshead. We also have a volunteer-led group who are, as it says on the tin, run by volunteers. No physical premises as such, but they cover the whole of the North East in terms of helping cats, helping owners, and running our fabulous services. So that gives you a little bit of a background into the North East. But the charity itself, we were established in 1927 by a fabulous lady, Jessie Wade, who was a suffragette and an animal welfare campaigner. And that is very much embedded still in who we are today. We are very much known for rehoming, but a lot of what we do is welfare in general, getting conversations started, getting laws changed to make lives better for cats, their owners and the communities. So one of our values is we are all for cats. Everything we do is for cats, but also, like I say, the owners, communities, and anyone we can help, really. One of our lovely little mottos is making life better for cats because life is better with cats. And ain't that the truth? So we are the UK's largest feline welfare charity. We help around 157,000 cats and kittens every single year, and that's right across the UK, right up into Ireland as well. And we are very, very proud of what we do. However, we can't do all the amazing things that we do without raising money first. So I'm going to go into fundraising a little bit more in a moment, but just to give you a little bit of information about other things that we do that you might not know about. We neuter stray cats, and we can give out neutering vouchers as well for people on low income. We have a fabulous scheme where it's completely free to sign up. If you were to pass away or not be able to take care of your cat anymore, it will be whisked into our care, and we'll be able to guarantee a space in one of our centres for it to be rehomed, find their forever home for the second time. Pause to Listen is essentially a grief helpline, again totally free, run by amazing volunteers who are there to listen. Whether you lost your cat a couple of hours ago or quite a few years ago, we're here to help because it is grief at the end of the day. Lifeline, again, totally free scheme. If you are sadly fleeing a situation of domestic violence, we will take care of your cat until you are in a safe and permanent place of residence. and obviously get lots of updates in the meantime, because a lot of people sadly do stay in these sad situations for fear of what might happen to their pet, or for fear of separation. So something that we like to shout about as much as we can. We can also provide people who are struggling to feed themselves with food and litter for their cats as well, because obviously they are part and parcel of the family. We do loads of campaignings, knocking on MPs' doors and trying to make laws better for cats. Two of the laws recently that we helped to pass was the Pet Abduction Act, and also the Microchipping Act as well. And to be honest, one of the main things is just advice. People ring us all the time and say, why is my cat doing this? Is it unhappy? Is it unwell? And a lot of the time we can signpost them in the right direction. Feel free to have a look on our website as well for more of that. We have an amazing education team who go into schools right from nursery age, right up to colleges and universities, to talk about animal welfare and really get it out there as a conversation. And last but not least, we do have a podcast if you so desire to listen to it. It's Adam from VODA. He does a fab job and gets loads of celebrities on, and there's a new season coming out soon, so feel free to check that out. Without further ado, to talk about fundraising a little bit more, we can't keep things running without fundraising. We also love to spread awareness, and that's a great way, boots on the ground in the community, talking about the work that we do. Reaching a wider audience. A lot of the time people think that either cats protection doesn't exist, or it's a little bit of a stigma with perhaps older women. We want to totally knock that out the park and totally change that. And also bringing in new supporters and new collaborators, potentially new groups of supporters, potentially new businesses who might be able to partner with us, all that jazz. But we can't do that without going to the community. So really quickly, I just want to introduce you to this lovely little guy, Leo. Leo was absolutely fine when he came into our care. He came into our Tyneside Cat Centre over in Gateshead. Absolutely fine, other than slightly swollen lymph nodes. Otherwise, super greedy, super friendly, and super chatty. All of a sudden, he started sneezing blood, and we were very, very worried. This was a few years ago now, and for caveat, he's absolutely fine now. Unfortunately, we did an X-ray, and he had an air gun pellet lodged in his nasal cavity. Without going into details, long story short, he had a very long recovery. Not only was the treatment over £2,000, he had obviously lots of medication. He was in our care for a lot of the time, which meant that a lot of money was put into saving Leo's life. The reason why I'm telling you this story is to just put emphasis on the reason why we need fundraising. We could not have saved Leo's life and found him his forever home, which he is still thriving in now, years later, without raising those funds first. So I'd just like to put that out there, because obviously volunteering with a cat charity, you think that you're going to be around the cats a lot of the time. And unfortunately, with volunteering with the fundraising team, it's not the case. However, if you just want to give back and really make a difference with cats, we can't do it without fundraising. So we would be very grateful for your support. So we have two really exciting roles at Cats Protection. We have the general fundraising volunteer role. Now you can make that what you will. There is a QR code if you would like to find out more. Basically, it's super flexible. We can basically tailor around you, whether you want to do a couple of hours every few months or you want to do a couple of hours every night. It's absolutely up to you. And whether that is boots on the ground fundraising and a lovely sunny day under one of our gazebos like we were in Morpeth a couple of weeks ago on this photo, or you're, researching, putting asks out for raffle prizes or venues for some of our exciting events, we can really make it for you. So a couple of things you might get involved in: helping at events on the day, doing a tombola, selling tickets to our raffles, planning and organising the events, something that takes a little bit more time, but again, super flexible. You can do it after work, you can do it on a weekend, and we are always here for your support as well in the community fundraising team. And just generally engaging your local community, again, getting the word out there, spreading the word about what we do. Two main things about these roles: no minimum required hours. You can come along to 1 hour a year and we'll be super grateful, and you will have all of the amazing benefits still. And the other thing is that events are usually on the evenings and weekends to be able to get out there to the wider population. So you can usually do it around, in fact, most likely do it around a full-time job as well. Just to give you a bit of an idea of some really exciting events we've got coming up. This is the absolutely crackers inflatable 5K that is on the 16th of August in Newcastle. If you remember Total Wipeout, very similar to that. It's a great example of a third-party event that we're going to do this year. wreath making workshops that we've done, mediumship evenings, virtual events as well. So basically a virtual version of crafts, but for cats. Raising money in pets at home and local shops. And also tattoo flash day as well, which we're looking to bring to the Northeast very soon. So just a little glimpse into things that we've got coming up or that we'd like to do, just to smash that stereotype that fundraising is just standing in a bucket in your local supermarket. It can be so much more than that. The other thing that you can do is pop one of these little guys into your local pub, corner shop, pet shop, vets, whatever it may be. And again, collect donations, but also get our name out there. Here's the QR code if you'd like to find out more. It's really ideal if you've got quite a busy schedule, perhaps kids that you've got to look after work, and you've only got perhaps an hour every few months, but you still really want to give back. You can totally do this around your schedule, and obviously with our support as well. There's loads of people to help you. All it is, finding a place to put the collection tin in that location, and then collect it when it's full. And it's as simple as that. And you can manage how much or as little as you do with this. So if you put 10 out into the community, you're more likely to collect them more often, or just put one out and it might be once every 6 months. But these collection tins sometimes bring in close to £400. So it is all worth it. And just to put it into perspective as well, £5 feeds a cat in our care for 25 days. So imagine what around £390 would do with one of these. You get so much support at Cats Protection. I'm very proud to be part of an organisation who supports volunteers so in depth. So you will get one-to-one support from myself, your volunteer team leader. You'll get access to thousands of online modules from cat welfare to leadership and management. We can also give references if you're going to go for employment. We have a volunteer assistance programme where you can get stress helpline, structured counselling, even things like tax advice. There is loads of things up on, obviously, for the Being Volunteers Week this week. We've got loads of cake-filled parties coming up for volunteers. So please know that you are loved and adored as one of our volunteers, and we will tell you that more often than not. Just a quick little quote as well from one of our really lovely fundraising volunteers, actually up here in the Northeast, so very location apt. She said that it's great to work alongside people who have a real passion for helping the cats and who are also looking for new ways to do so. It's added bonus that you get to have fun at the same time. We always say, as cheesy as it is, fundraising starts with the word fun for a reason. So hopefully that's a bit of food for thought for all of you. Thank you again for having me along. Whether you want to volunteer with us, whether you perhaps don't want to commit to volunteering but want to do a bit of a fundraiser for us, or perhaps you're looking for a bit of a different team building activity, we can organise that for you, from a collection to a fun little pub quiz in the office. Thank you so much for having me along today.
Thanks for coming, Amanda. That's brilliant. It's amazing to see all the range of services that the Cats Protection offer and how volunteers can support those. And amazing to see, again, what a difference people can make with a one-off event or one-off volunteering opportunity. Thanks so much for all the information. So next we have Amanda from Health Watch to tell us about their volunteering opportunities. Thanks, Amanda.
Hello everyone, and thank you very much for the opportunity to come along today to talk to you about Health Watch. Now I'm just going to try and share it. Here we go. Can you see that on? Right, success. Thank you everyone. Right, my name's Amanda. I'm the Volunteer and Engagement Coordinator in Health Watch North Tyneside. For those of you who aren't familiar with us, Health Watch North Tyneside is a small independent charity based in Wallsend, and we're part of a wider Health Watch network. There's about 152 Health Watches across England, one in every local authority. We're all funded by the council, but we're totally independent of it, and we've been around now since 2012. Now, something that all the Health Watch have in common is an aim to improve local health and care services. And as our mission suggests, we do that by finding out what people think of those services, what works and isn't working on the ground level. And then from that information, we identify we identify trends and we do deeper dive research on those trends to find out what's important to people and to gain a greater understanding. Volunteers are very much a part of this research, and it's from the recommendations that we use these recommendations, to influence service change based upon what we've been told. Now, volunteers are an integral part of everything that we do. They're our ears and our eyes in helping us find out what's going on the street. And more specifically, volunteers go out into different community groups. These might be social groups such as coffee mornings, or they might be support groups for people with different health conditions such as diabetes. So when volunteers go into these groups and they go in with another volunteer or a staff member, they go in to find out what's going on, what's working for people and what's not working for people when it comes to accessing and being treated by their local health and social care services. Volunteers also go out into different community events, into festivals and to fetes to do the same, to raise awareness of Health Watch and to find out about people's experiences. Volunteers are also involved in our research, our deeper dive research to get a better understanding of an issue. So that's not just going out into different services, into GP surgeries, into hospitals, for example, to do informal interviews. Is getting involved right at the start of a research project. So it will be helping us devise questions. It might be piloting surveys. It'll be doing the informal interviews. It might be analysing some of the data. It'd be logging some of the information, and then gatekeeping our reports, reviewing our reports at the end. Volunteers can get involved in as little or as much as they want to. Our volunteers will be working with the Health Watch team, which is six members of very passionate people who are really keen to make services better. And volunteers join the whole team, which is our current volunteer team of about 13, our board, who are also volunteers, and our staff team. And they very much participate in meetings and ongoing discussions about key issues. And another important part of volunteering is when you're out and about in the community to help people link up with other local community services and NHS services, and that's our signposting service. Just a few photos to give you a better idea of some of the generic volunteering that we do. On the top line, you can see on the left-hand side, we're at Pride, and then we've been to some libraries and leisure centres, and I think the top right is in Whitley Bay in the shopping centre. And then on the bottom, we've been in to speak to the parents and grandparents of the kids in swimming lessons. So that's a photo of us in the leisure centre there. We've also been outside primary schools to speak to the children there and their parents and loved ones. And there's Wallsend Festival there and another picture. Research, just to give you a few examples of the recent research volunteers have been involved in. Some time ago, people were telling us, members of the public were telling us that they were confused about where they should go when they're feeling poorly. So we did some deeper dive research on that, and volunteers went into the urgent treatment centre, into the hospital in Cramlington, which is the NSEC there, and different GP surgeries to do informal interviews. And then one of the outcomes of that piece of research is that leaflet on the right-hand side, which clearly shows what people can do when they're feeling poorly. More recently, volunteers have visited every single residential care home in North Tyneside to find out, as a layperson, what's it like to live there, and would they be happy actually living there when they're older. And the focus has been on meaningful life, relationships and the environment, and that data is currently being analysed, probably as we speak. So what's in it for you? Our volunteers say time and time again what they really like is getting out there and meeting new people, and how much they learn themselves from doing that. It's about increasing your own knowledge of health and care and developing your own skills. There's free training, induction training, but also ongoing training throughout your volunteering journey with us. So, for example, the volunteers who were involved in the residential care homes beforehand, they had a project briefing and they underwent some dementia training, dementia awareness training. So ongoing support and training throughout your volunteering journey, flexible opportunities. Volunteering for Health Watch isn't really something that you would do the same time, the same day each week. You tap in and tap out of volunteering opportunities according to your own interests and your availability. So for a couple of months you might get quite heavily involved, and then you might not do anything for a couple of months and then dip in and dip out again, and that's absolutely fine. Out of pocket expenses, that's a no-brainer. Volunteers very generously give up their time. They shouldn't be out of pocket, and they won't be out of pocket at any time because we cover all of those expenses. I always think volunteers are in a very privileged position when they're out in the community and they're having those meaningful private conversations with members of the public. Volunteers get a lot out of that, and they know simply by talking about some of the issues, a member of the public feels somewhat lighter, and that gives a lot of satisfaction. And again, it's really important to have fun and give back to your community. You can see a couple of photos on the right-hand side. That was with our volunteer walk and talk session to celebrate Volunteers Week yesterday. I wanted to finish on a little video of somebody talking about what they've got out of Health Watch, but I couldn't upload it, so I'm going to finish on a quote. This is from Maddie, whose picture you can see in front of you. And she said, "Volunteering with Health Watch gives me a feeling that I've helped people, even in a small way. I've met people of all ages and backgrounds and learnt so much from them. I'd like to think it makes me less judgmental and more compassionate." So I really hope to hear from you. If you're interested in hearing more, just email over your details or give me a call. That's great. Thank you for listening.
Thanks very much, Amanda. Again, an amazing range of projects that volunteers are getting involved in there. All the different sectors of the health services that they can find out more about and make a difference to as well. Thanks for that. So next we've got Hannah from Host Nation.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this wonderful event. It's been so interesting hearing from all of the other charities, and yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to multitask here, putting my screen share on at the same time. Hopefully that will work. So I'm here today to talk about Host Nation, which is a refugee befriending scheme, which is, as a whole, the charity's based down in London, but we also work in Manchester and here in Tyneside. So we receive referrals from Newcastle, Gateshead, North and South Tyneside, and we're a very small organisation. And here in Tyneside, it's just me managing it. So let's go on to the slideshow. Let's see. Come on. Computer's taking a little second to think about what it wants to do. Hopefully it'll come up. Is that, or am I at the end? Has it gone back to the from beginning, please? Yeah, here we are. So basically, this sums up what we do. Host Nation believes that every refugee deserves a friend, and we connect people who want to offer their friendship with people who need it. The volunteering opportunity that we offer, we do one very specific thing, which is befriending. So we're looking for volunteers to be befrienders. It's a very informal opportunity and one that can be tailored really to your interests, because we're all about matchmaking people that have things in common despite coming from very different backgrounds. So yeah, the role involves meeting your friend once a week, showing them some of the wonderful things that the Northeast has to offer, helping them practice their English, and just introducing them to a bit of British culture, your own favourite activities and places to go. So that can look completely different for different people. We have friendships that like going walking on the beach or in the wonderful local countryside, which is something that, especially getting out into the countryside, a lot of refugees and people seeking sanctuary don't necessarily get to see. We have people who have been to the cinema together, to concerts together, who sit in the library and practice English together. Yeah, go to the fairground, whatever it may be. So all of our friendship matches are 1-to-1, and it's a commitment of 2 to 3 hours a week to spend with your refugee friend. But the timing of it is completely flexible, and I take into account the times that people are free when I'm making matches, which I think is a very important factor in helping friendships get off the ground. So yeah, evenings and weekends to work around your working hours is absolutely possible. It's a slightly hands-off kind of volunteering opportunity. I'm always here in the background and to support by phone, kind of WhatsApp message, email, if you have any concerns or any questions about your friend. As standard, I check in once a month and assess how things have gone a little bit more in depth after 3 months. So why do we do what we do? Well, coming to the UK and being placed in Newcastle or North Tyneside or wherever it may be, people can feel very isolated, far away from family, limited financial resources, and just not knowing what's out there, what they can access, where they can get to. So by offering friendship, our main goal is to reduce loneliness and improve well-being. It's also a great chance for our refugee friends to practice their spoken English skills. Even if they're studying in college, just the chance to speak one-on-one to a friend who's patient and will take the time to understand them can be a huge confidence boost and really empowering. Also, just a chance to see new places, explore the city or the countryside, which has got a typo in it. Understand a little bit more about British culture and how things are done here, and things that you don't even think of as British culture. I had somebody the other day that had understood the concept of squash, cordial, because they'd never come across it before in their lives. So yeah, just being there by someone's side as they experience all these new things. And of course, beneficial for both sides is that it often leads to a long-lasting friendship. We found that over 80% of our matches at the 3-month point are kind of sustained, positive, rewarding relationships. And I certainly was a volunteer before I started working for Host Nation. I met a lovely Iranian lady about 1 year and 2 months ago now, and we see each other regularly. She's just a normal, in inverted commas, friend at this point. So how does the process work? So we recruit, screen and train volunteers. So that means that if you're interested in applying, you can do so on our website, which I will link to at the end of this presentation. I'll then organise a time to have a chat, we'll talk about your availability, your interests, what's inspired you to want to support a refugee, and yeah, what kind of things you would like to share with them. And then we offer a training session remotely with the team down in London, which goes over a bit about safeguarding and what the role entails. On the other side, refugees and asylum seekers are always referred to us by different organisations, so we have a bit of background on them. This may be different local charities. We work a lot with Walking With in Wallsend. It may be their college, it may be via NHS social prescribing. I make matches based on where people live, who they feel comfortable with, and shared interests. But female refugees are always paired up with our female befrienders. And then once we've agreed a match, I'll send you some more information about the refugee you'll be meeting. I'll send them some information about you, and we'll organise a time to go out for coffee together. We don't have a physical premises in the Northeast, so we'll just agree on a cafe that's handy for everyone, get a cup of coffee and some cake, and try and get talking about some of the things that you might like to do together going forward. So I've already been over some of this about the application process. It's just an online form. I take 2 references, we have a call, and then there's an online training session offered. I'm just want to end with a couple of photos of some of our really successful friendships, and I'm going to cough. This is Kelly on the left, and Rehab and her little girl Amal. And here they're celebrating Eid together. But this one was lovely because Kelly was quite new in the Northeast herself and looking to make friends. And Amal was at a point where she'd unfortunately been through a relationship breakdown and found herself very isolated and moving house and just having a lot of upheaval in her life. Kelly here said, I don't feel like it's just me supporting her, it's a two-way thing. That's because at the time Kelly was pregnant and Amal was giving her lots of kind of insight into her own experiences. And meanwhile, Kelly was a listening ear to Amal when she needed it. She introduced her to family. Her dad even helped her fitting some carpets in her new flat, and it was just a really lovely thing. And Rehab on the other side said it's made a big difference. Now I have someone to talk with. They did lots of fun things together, but really what she appreciated most of all was just having that listening ear when she needed it. Here's another pair of friends. This is Mari and Cheyenne. So Cheyenne is from Iran and based in North Tyneside actually now. They were matched up based on a shared passion for hiking. Cheyenne's from quite a mountainous region and I think was struggling to adapt to kind of being in the city and not getting out. So here they are hiking near Hadrian's Wall in the winter when we had some snow, obviously. And since I know that they've kind of shared recipes from each other's cultures. Mary's introduced him to taken him to his first ever pub quiz, which apparently is a great asset to the team. And Mary just said it's something that everyone should have time for. It feels like welcoming someone into the city. And Cheyenne said it's been really good for speaking and finding out things about English culture. As you can see, our friendships take lots of different forms. It's a very kind of individual volunteering opportunity to do something one-to-one for somebody that needs a bit of support finding their feet here in the Northeast and just showing what a friendly place it can be. Yeah, so happy to answer any questions after. And if you just Google Host Nation on our website, we have a a volunteering form. You just click the tab that says befriend. And yeah, happy to give anyone my
email
address if you want to contact me later with any questions.
Thanks so much, Hannah. That was brilliant to hear about, again, the different ways that you can get involved and make the volunteering a good fit for your way of life and match with someone with a similar interests. That sounds great. Thanks very much. So next we've got Marcy from St Oswald's to tell us about their volunteering opportunities. Thanks, Marcy.
Hi, hi everyone. I'll just try and get my screen to share. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, let's see if I can get this from the beginning. Okay, are you all able to see that? Not sure if I can see any nods yet. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yes, so thank you everyone. Yeah, I'm Marcy White. I'm the clinical volunteering coordinator. We've got lots of clinical and non-clinical volunteering opportunities. I'm just going to start by just briefly saying who St Oswald's is. So we are a charitable hospice and we provide specialist services to adults and children right across the North East region. And our aim is to provide safe space and quality time for everyone. So that's patients and their families as well. So there's lots of great reasons to volunteer with us. It can help to boost the skills on your CV. It can help you to know which careers might be right for you, which I'll come on to in a minute. To grow confidence and make friends, or to give back to your community. So we provide a range of services, which includes our adult inpatient unit. So that's providing pain and symptom management and also end-of-life care. We have our day services, which includes our lymphedema service, which I spend quite a lot of time with, supporting volunteers there. That's anyone who has lymphedema, which is a condition causing swelling in the lymphatic system. And we also have our Focus on Living Centre as well, which is for people with a palliative condition. And that includes a really wide range of support, including support groups, blood transfusions and infusions in our ambulatory care, and also complementary therapies, which again is for both patients and families. We have our children and young adult service, which has just newly been extended, which is really exciting, so that we have support for 0 to 25-year-olds and their families, offering respite for parents and families by taking care of their children and young adults for short stays. We have a bereavement service, which we really want people to know is accessible to anyone, whether you've had a loved one cared for at St Oswald's or not. So we offer that support as well to anyone in the community. And we have shops around the region that help us to raise money for St Oswald's. So there's some pictures here from our lovely shops. Fundraising as well could be anything from running the Great North Run to helping out at an event, or the art trail, which we've got a new art trail coming up next year. You might have seen Peter Rabbit starting to show on our social media, which is great. So Just moving on to volunteer to career. As I mentioned earlier, you can volunteer at St Oswald's if you're interested in health and social care career, and you would like to sort of try whether that would be the right career for you and get some experience. So in this picture, we've got our wonderful volunteer Angie chatting to my colleague Jackie. So Volunteer to Career offers mentoring, and Jackie is our mentor. You can also do shadowing. You can also enhance your CV and gain a portfolio of evidence to reflect what you've learned through volunteering. So just want to share some patient feedback as well, just to show you what a difference it can make being supported by volunteers and staff at St Oswald's. So these are from our Focus on Living Centre. So one patient said, coming to the centre just made me feel normal again, not just a cancer patient. I loved chatting to the people I've met. We laughed every time we met. It's a lovely place, nothing like you think it's going to be. Everyone who knows me knows how much I love coming to the hospice. I've come out of my shell talking about my feelings. So yeah, just wanted to conclude with that, and then I'll happy to answer any questions at the end as well. So I'll just stop sharing my screen.
Thanks so much, Marcy. Again, a really interesting range of roles there. So thanks so much to our panelists today, and thanks so much to the public who've joined on the event. I'm going to stop the recording now, and it will be available online. And if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask the panelists, please feel free to do so.